The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. It doesn't matter whether you're staring at the great sand dunes in Algeria or ducking Russian fighters in Syria. We love it when you come to us at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have going today? Well, we're off a little bit, but as I said, I'm not really expecting a great deal. As we came back Friday, or excuse me, last Monday from the long weekend, we were just kind of talking about how the market was rather balanced. That really hasn't changed much. We've got some downward pressure. We'll be doing that webinar on the 16th. We'll be talking about that sporadically through the show. But options kind of pointing a little bit down. Now, of course, they don't mean near or half what they do on Wednesday after option market makers go delta neutral. So we'll see how that changes, and we'll be watching how the option market makers start focusing in on expiration on the 18th. But right now, there just isn't a lot to say the market's got a real bias either up or down. I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday. I put in my newsletter. If you're talking about short one-day trades, maybe there's something there, but there isn't a bias for risk-reward either long or short at the moment. Probably the best thing is to keep a close eye on commodities when you're range bound, especially narrowly range bound in the bigger equities markets. They tend to get a little bit of the love as traders want to find some action somewhere. Of course, we had a little bit of the meme stocks last week. My guess is that as things also tend to go sideways, we're going to see people trying to make some action in some of those. So keep an eye on them. Of course, today, I think the big news that people in the Tiger's Den have been talking about is BIB. Got a Alzheimer's drug just in time for me, I have a feeling. But it started trading again. We'll pull up a chart. But, other than sporadic news items like this, there's not a lot to push the market one way or the other. And yeah, that's what happens when you get involved in biotechs. If they didn't have the drug approved, we probably would have seen a candle on the other side. It's always hard to know what to be in. Of course, some people in the den were watching some associated stocks and, of course, the IBB. But it looked fairly good for a little while. What we're getting today, though, is almost a Gartley pattern. There may be some. I wouldn't be shorting it today. My guess is that you do have. In fact, let's go ahead and look at it. Do have a lot of short positions in. Where is it at? BIB. Yeah, you had people on Friday and Thursday up in the mid 20% shorts for the day in that. Bi-monthly, you still had 3.5 days to cover. So there's enough people out here that this is probably going to hold up for a little while. You gave some of it back, but that's not unnatural, let me put it that way. But, you did kind of come back. You almost tested the previous low, 142.46 in the IBB on. The volume shrank a little bit, but 10, 15%. but generally I like to see it shrink about 20. I did try to get a trade off in the Tech Insider on this that didn't quite work out. Eventually, of course, you got the move out here today to 161.83, but kind of a little bit of a Gartley pattern out here. So we'll see what happens. You got plenty of volume through the previous high. That was 159.37 with 3.5 million shares back on April 27th. So a pretty good sign. The one thing you dislike or you want to see before the end of the day is a close above 159.37. A close below that for a day would be a little bearish. More than a couple of days would be probably problematic. So keep a close eye on that. But that's one that's moving. Okay. Anything else happening today? Okay. That's kind of it. We do have a question that I wanted to answer at the top here. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can call today at 877-927-6648. One of the questions is, listen to you daily. You mentioned a number of times Fed Reserve adding cash toward the end of the week. Could you mention where I see that information in the numbers? I was told it, have I been talking about it for 8 weeks to maybe 10 weeks? One of my friends that I used to trade with before he became an Asian desk trader in Chicago, traded options on the floor of the CBOE. I gave him my name, my code name, Jaded Bear, who was a guy that was very similar to the same thing. He was a floor trader, but I gave him my deep throat source name, Jaded Bear. And anyway, he kind of keeps me up on a lot of what's going on. Have I seen the Fed slip the envelope into the guy's pocket? No, but he told me it was going on, and man, you can almost set your watch to it. Thursday night, the cash starts coming in. Last week, we talked about whether or not the shorter week meant that it didn't show up until Friday about open. But you know what? Maybe that's what happened. We'll be watching Thursday night again. But as long as the Fed keeps pumping, I think that would be it. Now, I try to stay away from politics, but I think it's important to see that over the weekend that we've had a couple of senators move to the point that they're not going to challenge a filibuster, which probably makes some incredibly huge spending bills in the trillions and trillions of dollars a lot less likely, and probably probably extremely more moderate spending bill going on. That brings us back to the TLT, where I have a feeling that the bond vigilantes are going to stand back for a little bit and see whether or not we're going to go and continue on with a huge government grab for whatever cash there is. Of course, we're back under 1.6% right now on the 10-year, and that's important. The 20-year combo, which is the TLT, more than one time frame in there, but probably not going a lot higher, but at the same time, looks like it could consolidate out now. We'll be back after this.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month, and try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500-plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE. And you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 2000, United States District Judge Thomas Penfield Jackson, not to be confused with Thomas Jackson. I always wondered why he got three names. Generally, most serial killers and other kind of notorious people end up with three names. But Thomas Penfield Jackson orders the breakup of Microsoft into two companies, one that will develop operating systems and the one that will develop other applications. Microsoft immediately announces that it will file an appeal of the judgment. What would have been a monumental event in the history of technology never really ever happened. So the ruling is overturned, and just over a year later, Microsoft will be sanctioned, but it stays one company. And of course, one of the reasons I bring this up rather often is that in 2000, everybody told me it couldn't happen. But guess what? You had a 30% move on that day. I think it was that day. It took a long time, and we're talking about Microsoft, one of the biggest companies in 2000, and certainly wasn't one of the dot-com blow-up stocks. A real company making real money, almost a monopoly, which is why they got into this problem in the first place. And why now one of the first things they tell you is never in writing and always in cash. You don't want to do these things that can be tracked. That's it. That's day one in Congress from a good friend. They tell all the new congressmen and senators, if they haven't been around politics, never in writing, always in cash. So we'll keep an eye on that. But again, what we're looking for this Monday, we're looking for a pattern starting to develop in that options expiration cycle. We've got a few things going on, but at this point, do you bet the farm on them? And the answer is no, and you never bet the farm on them. But when everything aligns, or at least the stuff that I use aligns, then you can go ahead and start looking at putting on positions. Now, what am I doing here? I'm looking for that. Oh, there it is. Somebody brought up Watt again. I just, like I said before, on these stocks, all the meme stocks, it's amazing now how well you can go out of business, whether it's Kmart or Radio Shack. There's a incredible level of money to be made going bankrupt, and always makes me have a little grin and think of The Producers, the movie. If you've never seen it, a great movie. And the question of whether or not you can be too successful. Of course, AMC had a huge bounce. Now these guys, is it changed anything? No, but they can pay themselves some rather big CEO and executive pay for years to come on all the cash that they raised. Will it change how much money they make? No. But what will it do? It will allow them to screw over people that are short until the thing goes bankrupt. Watt, of course, was supposed to come out with all this great technology. They didn't. Everybody knew it was a fraud. Well, I wouldn't call it a fraud. Let me put it this way. They've announced stuff before that has never come to pass, and that violated many of the laws of not only electronics but physics. So if you get some people that kind of tell you some stuff that you know, I'd say 90.99999% is probably impossible. You got to bet on that side of it. And of course, these originally, Watt talked about how they could send electricity through the air, something that goes back to Tesla. A lot of conspiracy theorists on that think that it's always been possible. Generally, if someone would have been able to do it, they probably would have been able to do it by now. The problem is, if these guys were actually successful, we'd have to build a second power plant for every power plant that exists today, just because how inefficient that it actually is, sending electricity through magnetic waves, through gravitational waves, through every kind of wave you can think to move power. Yeah, can you do it? Yeah, I remember there's a product that actually does kind of do this, and it takes 500 watts to charge at 5 watts to a cell phone. So, 500 watts, if you remember old incandescent bulbs, man, those things would burn your hands almost instantly. In fact, probably instantly, probably at 5 feet. They would burn your face, a 500 watt bulb. But that's the same power you have to get rid of and heat, and you have to use your air conditioning to probably cool that to get 5 watts. So, you know what? Even though they keep coming up with other stuff, fool me once, my fault. Fool me once, your fault. Fool me twice, my fault. But that would be it. Give me a call, 877-927-6648, and we'll venture on. I had some emails over the weekend about Nvidia, and a lot of people actually asking questions about how high can this go. Like I said, my guess is this is going to rally all the way. I don't know how high, but all the way into earnings. And I think those earnings, let me take a look. I think it's August something. Let me pop that up real quick, because I do have it. If I can move this around, get to stuff. NVDA. August 25th. So just before the start of the big long weekend, we'll have Nvidia. But people continue to short this heavily. 20% on a daily basis is pretty average. When we look at what they get into on a daily, or I mean on a bi-monthly basis, you know what? Not as bad. You've got a little over a day to cover. Most people end up shorting this in the morning and covering it in the afternoon. But you know what? A lot of puts on this, a huge amount of puts. And my guess is those folks will continually being wrong. If you can double your margins, that's like quadrupling your earnings. Margins, a lot of people don't think about it too much, but there's a reason why Intel, Apple, the rest of these companies have prices like they do. Now, I know Nvidia's EPS is monster, but with what we talked about on Friday in the cards, being able to take a card that probably would have sold for $900, charge $1,200 for it now because of the scarcity, it's just gonna, it's a nuclear weapon. Margins are, and either it goes off or it doesn't. You start losing margin, everybody runs for the hills. You start gaining margin. There's no price too high to pay at Wall Street for margins moving higher. We'll be back after this.
Are you having fun trading the markets but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back here, busy typing away, thinking, okay. Okay, let's see what we have out here. Question on Apple from Ronald. Yeah, you've got their developer conference coming. I have to say, though, that after I got it looking at the news flow from Friday, listened to a couple of podcasts, inside baseball types. for Silicon Valley, they're all kind of skeptical and really kind of nervous about the way that the lawsuit went for Epic and them in the store, the App Store part of it, and the ability for them to carry 30%. We talked about the judge actually being rather brutal to Steve, the CEO, on the stand. I have a feeling you're going to need to get through that. There will be a what do they call it? An announcement from the judge on the deposition of that before the end of the summer, and you don't know where that's going to come. They may give you a little bit of announcement. My guess, though, is it's just going to hit one day, probably on a Friday after the close. So, you know, if you're sure it's going to go Apple's way, then maybe you want to be long come Friday's closes, or be short Friday's closes. You think it goes against them. But other than that, and at the same time, you don't know what the judge is going to do either. So to me, it's more of a bet. But I would say the question is that they're pretty much thinking that this is going to go against Apple a bit. Now, of course, there are developer conferences going on today, and all through the week, what we'll find is that even if today doesn't go well, Apple will double down on its public relations folks. And we talked a bit about this on Friday, about how long Apple has been doing a spin. In fact, a great deal of what we see in politics today came from Apple and many of the people leaving Apple in the 1992 election. Almost everything that they learned in trying to manipulate the press, they turned toward politics. Guy Kawasaki's books are rather famous on it. If you're in the business, you probably ought to know it. I'm pretty much immune because I know what they're doing. So it kind of, all it does is kind of roll off my back. I know a lot of people, you know, for years, Apple could do no wrong. They've gotten big enough that now people are also saying that maybe they can't do a lot of right. But we'll see. Anyway, on Apple, just because they have a bad day doesn't mean that they won't go right back to trying to spin the truth to whatever they could do. Now, during the late 80s, they had a policy called evangelism, which is they'd find some people that were pretty, well, let's just call them the kind of people they are. They were a lot of closet cases. People that lived in their parents' basements, especially guys, almost exclusively guys, that would go out and shout how well Apple was doing, and they rewarded them well, gave them a lot of feedback, and made them feel really good. And they had a small army of these guys doing evangelism. That ended up kind of going away, and them having professional evangelism or evangelists that wouldn't so much embarrass them, probably the best way to say it. And that's been something that's gone on. Silicon Valley is kind of decided that they don't want to talk too much about evangelism anymore. They try to act like it doesn't happen, but it's happened forever. A lot of times it really happened in the newsletters, not in the newsletters, in the magazines. But as magazines have kind of gone away, a lot of it is bots and making sure that everything negative about a company gets responded to viciously and immediately. Again, very much like politics today. No matter what happens, there's an instantaneous response from the other side. Okay, give me a call at 877-927-6648, and it'll be it. Okay. 1992? I said that, didn't I? 1662, did I say? That's it. Okay, other things going on. Quick rundown of the stocks. Microsoft a little bit higher today. What we don't have is any kind of volume. This is where resistance has come back in. I still suspect that Microsoft's in a bigger trading range. This light volume today, we'll have to see how it closes, but it's not reassuring. You've had volumes at 27 million, 18 million, up there at that level. Today we got about 13.4 million. If we can hold this, the idea would be that you're going to, even on light volume, you'd at least come back and fill half the gap. That's generally what would happen. So that's going to take you to 258, 257 on Microsoft, even on light volume. Could we go either way here? Yeah. I don't think there's a lot of risk reward, as we said earlier, in the market. Okay, quick question on this from Mr. Bronco Billy. Facebook, previous high, 331.81. That was the high on April 29th. 331.81. Got a great deal up there. April 29th, 331.81. Today we're going through that 56 million share with 14 million shares. Facebook continues to do well. I'm not a big fan of being long it here. This is probably going to be the first company to go on and to a issue with antitrust. At least that's if you believe what the Washington, D.C. Insiders are saying. Light volume up here again. You don't like to see that. When's our earnings come out here? Take a quick look. July 28th. So you got about 2 months. Energy was not all that great. Is it real? I don't know if it's real. I don't see any sign that says to short it. But again, a little higher, not much volume. Most of these are not failing on light volume. What they are doing is really just popping right back into the trading range. I don't think there's much to be had here. Again, Wednesday, delta neutral day, 80% of the time. The low of that day in the indexes is not, the expiration doesn't close below that on expiration day. So we'll be talking more about that this week. And I'm back.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
And we have a question from David. He says, what do you think about Trade Desk? I've got 570 calls. Good trade so far. I assume you've got them in the last few days. I don't know if you bought them earlier, like 2 months ago, then hats off to you. But if you were talking about buying them the last couple of days and the nice move higher, although on lighter volume, I think you've got a nice trade. I would be out at 620. You've got a double gap right there. And I don't know how many times, I'm going to say hundreds, maybe thousands of times you see stocks actually turn right at where these double gaps are. And the reason that I wrote The Art of Timing the Trade charts to display gaps exactly as we have here. But that right at 520 is something that you really want to keep an eye on, or excuse me, 620. You want to keep an eye on. If it hit that 620, I would be out in the blink of an eye, because generally they don't last very long at that time. Now, maybe they pull back and take another run at it, but very rarely do they break through those on the first try. And maybe something else happens, some news. But if all things being equal, my trade plan to begin with, if you got into this the last couple of days, would have been to sell at $620. Okay, we got that. See. Okay. Check a couple of these emails. Trash. Okay. And that. Okay. Next on the line is ASML. Don wants to know about this company, and he didn't hear a lot about it, but he's hearing a lot about it lately. ASML is a Norwegian, Swedish, Danish. Anyway, they're up there where the fjords are. And their single claim to fame is that they were really a monopoly in being able to stencil semiconductors. They make a machine. The machine costs $125 million. They make about 25 of them a year. But if you're going to make a chip, you've got to be able to come up with the blueprint of that chip layer by layer. And if you've ever made a stencil, like a silkscreen stencil for a T-shirt, and you've seen somebody do multiple colors with it or something like that, that's exactly what these guys do. But they do it at an insane level where they're working at 1,000 times smaller the width of a human hair. And it's very interesting machines. These things look like about as wide as and long as a semi tractor trailer. They may do that just to facilitate shipping on them. But this is the one company that does it. They do it better than everybody else. And again, when people are talking about what's going to happen with the SMHs and the shortcomings, it all kind of starts with this company, because if you don't have this, you're not making any parts. And like I said, each one of these machines is about $125 million. They only plan on making 25 of them a year. You know, if they really try hard, maybe they can get 2 more out a year or something. But the parts lead time, everything else is insane. But if you're looking for companies that actually have a actual monopoly in the semiconductor space, we've talked about Taiwan Semiconductor, probably 80% of the market that Samsung doesn't have. So maybe that. I mean, Intel basically makes what it needs for itself. The rest is these big companies like Taiwan Semiconductor, Samsung. There is a company called Global Foundries out there that has been a company that they really not put any money into. So it ends up making a lot of cheap chips without high margin, and that's problematic. But I don't know if you're going to see a great deal. They did break the previous high, pull back into the trading range. They're up on kind of light volume up here. But I don't see, like I said, it's not like these guys can make 50 machines next year. So they're doing well. They probably have a lot of orders for next year. Maybe they make 30. But that's going to be a big deal. And, of course, they don't need to make that many, because these are machines that just make the stencils that go into other machines. But you've got to have this machine to begin with. And I don't know, pretty good, nice company. I'm trying to remember. I want to say that they're Norwegian, Danish, maybe. But that's kind of it. Anyway, great company, but I don't know if there's a lot of opportunity in it for everybody else. A monopoly, but at that point, they're more interested in the long term than any kind of short term out there. They may just kind of drift higher with the market. Let's take a look at the SMHs as we talk. People in the den talking before the start. There's another company coming out saying that they were a smaller semiconductor company. I can't remember who it was before the bell, or maybe over the weekend, saying that their shortage is going to continue off into 2022. You're in the SMHs, you're kind of up here at these levels. Again, we're getting an options expiration. Whatever low we see on Wednesday, 80% of the time, is going to be higher than that on the 18th. That's what we'll cover in the webinar on the 16th, as we talk about using options to trade stocks and equities, and actually trade options with it too, and a host of other things on the webinar on the 16th. So you actually have some fairly decent energy in the semis. So I would say that at a minimum, you want to watch and see that the 258, 257 levels in the SMHs get tested. There's not a lot of oomph in it in the last couple, well, let's call it 7-8 trading days. But I think it's still close enough to the two previous highs that you're going to at least get and touch that 257, 258-ish before expirations weeks are over. What else do we have out here? Let's see if we got anything. Plenty of time to get in the last 2 minutes of the show. 877-927-6648. NFLX. Question about Netflix. Anything else changing out here? No. At the moment, I would say more than likely you retest the 247.54. You had enough volume out there. You've got two nice high volume lows back on November 10th and September 18th. Got a lot of churn going on in the streaming space, people bouncing between HBO and Disney and some of the other ones. Once you see everything for a while, you move to the other one. I think that's going to continue on a little while, at least through the summer. Netflix does have some stuff coming in the fall. But summertime, 258.60, 263.41 would be my targets before this thing starts heading the other way higher. Be back in a minute.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave. Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based, vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And as we get ready to shut down the show for the day, Himax Technologies, HIMX, one of the semis out here, decent volume into the previous high of 2 million shares. That was on the high of April 27th, $14.62. You're not quite in it yet, but you got 4.4 million shares and looks pretty good. About the same energy on the way up, on the way down. Again, let's take a quick look and see what short interest is on this. HIMX. Okay. Yeah, not much lately, though. So you don't have much steam. Bi-monthly, though, what does this have? 1.4. So there isn't a lot of juice back here from the shorts on the wrong side. There's a little, but not much. What can you say? That'd be nice. Yeah, so maybe there's another buck in it. Back up to the 1620, which is the previous high of April 7th. You know, if you bought it at the lows, that was a one that gave a very good signal out here. That was the low of March 5th, $9.97 with just under 6 million shares. Gets retested into that candle with this 4.4 million shares. You pop back into the trading range. You know, does that mean it's going to go back up to the previous high, 1788? Probably not. But this trading range that's been chopping around since that March 5th low, you're probably on the high side of it. So 15.50, $16. You get into options expiration and these things can just drift up. So yeah, if you're long this thing, you stay. I don't see any reason to sell. That's pretty much in everything. We could just see some very light volume up into the end of the month. Well, that's kind of it. Sell when you can, not when you have to. And of course, go to the front page of TFNN and check out ensemble methods for options expiration plays. I'm going to be talking about just about every kind of technique that I use to put together trades for options expiration and just regular trading. Make sure and check that out. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.